Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stay of the Realm. We're back. It's been about a month. And for anyone on Twitch, yeah, the opening music, the audio source thing was still a little bit off because I have a couple things on different audio sources. That'll be fixed. I'll edit it in post, or it won't. You'll just get the start of the show when we go onto YouTube. But all the same, we have a show. It's been a hectic month for me, or we would have had more shows. But we have one for Occult Crescent today, just doing our quick first impressions. We'll probably have a few shows about Occult Crescent over the next several weeks because, people are working through it right now. People are working through the raid right now. But we just want to touch base because it's been a while and there's new content and we love talking about new content. So with that, I'm one of your hosts, Mrhappy. And of course, joining me is Sly. Hi, Sly.
Hi.
Hi. It seems a little bit off. Mostly I got everything working pretty quickly, and it's off by a little bit.
Yeah. New place, gotta get reset and everything. Yada yada.
Yeah, different camera. Although my other camera is on the way.
Old school camera. I remember. I can't. The C920. Yeah, I remember when I first started and used the C920. Jesus Christ. Those are the days.
It's always good to keep the old C920 handy. You never know when something's going to happen, and you just got to pull out old reliable. Mm-hmm. And in my case, it was I need to wait for the other camera to ship across the country, which it actually might be here, and I might just not have unboxed it. I have to go take a peek. I think it might actually be in. There's a box downstairs that I think it might be in. But all the same, yeah. We're here. It's been a hot minute since
we're here.
State of the Realm. Yeah, it's been an interesting last few weeks for me, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not just the new location, but I was in and out of the ER for a little bit there. So blood pressure. The coffee had to be the coffee, obviously.
Not the Hap coffee. You gotta take it down the coffee?
I mean, I don't know if it was the coffee, but I mean, 40 ounces of coffee a day had to pay some sort of.
Yeah, that had to add up a little bit.
I mean, it certainly wasn't helping the blood pressure. But now I'm doing a lot better now, and I'm moved into new location as well. So I was on a plane last week. Well, I actually was on a plane during State of the Realm time, but I sure as hell wasn't doing a State of the Realm after taking a red eye across the country.
Oh, God, no.
No, I was asleep about this time last week. So that's it. As you can see, Ivy's here with me, of course, in the new location. But you may see the occasional cameo, or I should say catio, depending on what they decide to do. Right now is usually their sleeping time, but you may see one of 4 other cats show up and, Oh,
more cats.
More cats, yeah. Temmie, Bacon, Sausage, and Cinnamon. Those are cats. And every time Bacon pees, I'm like, isn't that just grease? So if you didn't like that.
So you just got a cupboard of cats.
Cupboard of cats, yeah. That's it. Oh, man. But anyway, yeah. We have a show to do today. I'm going to keep this one simple. Yes. Start of the show, just quick reminder. Shout out to the sponsors on Patreon. Don't forget the Steel Series link in the discount code. And also, I'm going to be doing Final Fantasy X Magic the Gathering pack openings when, I don't know if it's when pre-release begins or actual release. There's a card shop in Kentucky that's sending me packs. And so I'm going to be doing those opening. I have a discount code on their website. On Twitch, it's !card shop. On YouTube, it'll be in the description. It's in the description of most videos right now. So you can find that there. You can use that for any TCG that you play. But, they might still have some play boosters left for the Final Fantasy stuff. But if they don't, they're going to do restocks at some point as well. So if you are looking for a small card shop, something that like a mom and pop that you can help, they do ship throughout the U.S. And use discount code Mrhappy. Also, saves you a bit of money on that.
There you go.
Yeah, I got some card shop stuff going on. If I pull a gold chocobo, I'm going on vacation, man. I'm just saying. There's only 77 of them in existence. So, that motherfucker's getting graded and sold ASAP. Maybe not ASAP. Maybe hold on to it for a bit first. And now we see if that fuels my addiction, because I used to sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards on eBay when I was in high school. And it was a great way to fuel my desire to open packs and then make money. It was a great way to do it. All right. But anyway, we have a content patch to talk about, we have patch 7.25, Occult Crescent. It's here.
Croissant.
Is this just Expedition 33 people just kind of hanging over with the Occult Croissant? Is that what's going on here? Because I never thought about that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like, why?
Yeah,
why croissant? Why croissant? I'm going to turn you up a little bit, by the way, just so you know. And if I blow everyone's eardrums out, I apologize. Try speaking.
Speaking. Hello. Hi.
You're probably louder than me now. I'm pretty loud though. The news, for some reason, I have my audio setup very similar, but my audio is way louder here. I'm not sure if it's just because the room is smaller or something, and I'm not in my living room anymore. But yeah, he's a tad louder. Yeah, I figured he would be a tad louder after doing that. So I did just bump you up to like 140 instead of like 110.
Oh God.
I mean, it's new audio, new setup. We've already had our kerfuffles with it so far. What's one more, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I have been doing nothing but, in fact, I actually should just be doing it during the show. I don't know why I'm not. Like, I'm actually kind of like
gold farming. Gold
farming.
farming?
I can do solo gold. I was doing it when you showed up. I could just do more solo gold farm. Dude, you can average like 1,800 gold an hour solo. I could do that. Well, no, it's more like 1,200.
And the gold jobs are what, 1,600?
Yeah, but that's not why. I was saying, yeah, but you can't get one an hour. Yeah, I'd say it's ambitious to get one an hour. You're realistically more so getting like 1,200 an hour. I'd say that's more realistic because you're doing probably, well, actually, no. I think I am right. 1,800 an hour because I can do about 30 to 35 gold a minute, and then it's times 60. So times 10 and then times 6. That's 1,800. That's 1,800 actually. Yeah. There you go. Math. Oh man. Yeah, that's not the only math I've had to do in there. But yeah, I've been spending a lot of time in there. I'm assuming you've been spending a significant portion of time in there over the past few days as well. Oh yeah. So catch me up on your progress slide before we talk about the individual bits and bobs, what we like and don't like, etc.
Yeah, I'm 20. Working through. I'm almost done with Bard. I already finished. I finished Monk and Knight. Working on Bard. Bard's gonna be finished by I'm probably doing another half instance after this, and I'll probably finish Bard and start another job. Yeah, I have not seen a single soulstone off of a CE. Great. But yeah, I finished my Demi-Atma, got the weapon. Yay.
Finishing the Demi-Atmas is doing a lot better than most. So you traded your luck and one for the other.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so yeah, level 20, just, farming for the gear, I guess. Got my third piece, just down to 2 pieces left. So just be doing CEs and fates and pots and getting unlucky with pots too. So yeah, so you're having about an average experience, I would say. Yeah, I'd say sub-average because most people do get job crystals or job stones.
Crystal, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're not doing it like, I don't know, I'd say, how many jobs you have mastered, you said?
It'll be 3.
3? Yeah, 3 without 1. That's the real kick. Because I just got my last one at my 5th job mastered, basically. I just got Berserker at about the 5th job mastery. So, but I got my first one very quick. I got Ranger on the very first try, but then Oracle took me until I was like 3 jobs mastered. So like, I get the range. Like if I didn't get Ranger in 1 try, I didn't get another Ranger again until today. So in reality, I was very close to being a kind of that similar pace. So I'd say you're not, it's a little below, but still, average. Because some people are still struggling with the same stuff. Chat's like, wow, really? I got it on my first try. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I got Berserker on my first try. I got Oracle on my first try. Great. Awesome.
Listen, we're just salty. All right. It's not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. We're just upset that it hates us. Or it has hated us. Obviously, it doesn't hate me.
It hates me in particular. Like this game in my luck, it fucking hates me. And then fucking Chest Don't get me started on chests. Did they just put random shit in all the chests, gold, silver, and bronze? Because I haven't seen anything good. I have not. The only thing I've seen, materia and ribbons.
Well, I mean, with the pots, I know there's 2 rare things in the pot ones, but 2 is only 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's only gonna do so much for you. But yeah, for mine, since I figure I might as well, say what I've got done. I too am, of course, knowledge level 20. I have been in and out of the Fork Tower a little bit the past few days. I did not have a hardcore group set aside because I was busy moving and I was in and out of the doctor's office and whatnot. So I just didn't even look. So I've just been casually going a few times like per day. I'm not going today. I'm not going tomorrow unless like a midday run opens up, which I guess Saturday it's technically possible, but I'm not looking much harder than that. And I've been mostly leveling, exploring, trying to figure out what's ideal, what's optimal, job combos, answering questions that are in the patch notes 8 billion times. Just the usual stuff, sharing thoughts, opinions. I mean, this is basically the same conversation I've been having in stream. This show is just my everyday stream content for the past 4 days.
Outside of Croissant, have you done any of the other
No.
content? Have you done so you haven't done Mamulja, you haven't done Hildy. Okay.
No. I gotta focus on what's important. Sly, we'll talk about it because that wasn't the intent. The intent was to, do some Occult Crescent, get to 20, just a Fork Tower, go do the other. But then I got into it. And that was it. I'm not leaving that. I got
that question. There's other content. Right? Yeah, I had to have that conversation with my chat. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's Hildebrand and there's Mamulja. I mean, I knew there was Mamulja. I was like, oh yeah, there's Hildebrand. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you're not gonna stop me. That's it. Make it rain. Don't care. The only thing I'm making it rain is silver and gold pieces right now. Okay. That's it. I don't need no MGP. I'm good, great, grand, wonderful. No yelling on the bus. I'm ready to go. You know what that quote's from?
No.
It's from Billy Madison. Chris Farley says
it.
He's the driver of the bus. Like, good, great, grand, wonderful. No yelling on the bus.
Seen that in years.
Every time I say good, I have to say the whole quote. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. I got to say the whole thing.
You got to say the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I've just been nonstop. I mean, you saw, like you tuned in. I was just talking about solo gold farming because I want to know how to be able to recommend those types of things, give people like time investment estimates on, works. And I'm getting a much better idea of it. And it's, I'm having a lot of fun. It's good to feel like this is the second, and honestly, it's the second time with Cosmic, that day one sense of like everyone trying to figure everything out. Getting that twice in a month. Primo MMO new content experience, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm getting that here. So we should probably talk about the individual bits of Occult Crescent, except for the story, because I'm doing the story on my alt. I skipped everything on my main because I was just grind. And I've actually heard it's pretty interesting. So I'm really looking forward to picking up the details on that one. But Occult Crescent,
I agree with that.
Occult Crescent is, how do I put this?
5 coded.
What?
Final Fantasy 5 coded.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's been obvious for the longest time, but I meant more so the story is probably 5 coded as well. I know, again, a little bit, bits and bobs. But it's hard to describe because it's very much what they said, that combination of Eureka and Bozia. But I don't feel like that experience with either of them was exactly replicated here.
No. And yeah, you can definitely see the differences. With, you say it's kind of like a medium between Eureka and Bozja.
Yeah.
I'd say, I would agree to a certain extent. There's Fork Tower and that's it. There's no, Dal Riata equivalent or anything like that. So that's all you get. Fork Tower. You get the 20, you level the jobs and everything, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
So outside of that, the no leveling aspect that I was kind of worried about months and weeks back when they talked about this, kind of replaced because, as opposed to leveling, you at least get tomes. So, hey, you don't have to do fucking roulettes. Congratulations. If you're in here, you have your tomes. You're probably capped by like end of a fucking instance because of all the CEs and fates you've done. Because everything gives heliometry, everything gives mathematics. So there's that. In terms of the actual mobs themselves, both CEs and regular fate mobs and just regular mobs outside, I was trying to remember I want to say for Bajja, because I was going back to Bajja, was everything omnidirectional in Bajja, like including
I believe so, yes.
So for them to have, it's weird that the CEs aren't omnidirectional.
That's probably a result of them, because again, remember going from Endwalker to Dawn Trail, everyone complained about and I feel like the hitbox and I feel like both things are a factor there, where it's a matter of them just wanting to go back to at least having some thought involved with a lot of this stuff. And I think the intent is that you're more regularly group up anyway. So like the content wants you to, so like why make it omnidirectional? Like you can solo, but the content's kind of made to be done with people. So odds are like, I get it. It's not even the it's such a minor factor. I think positionals.
It's minor issue, but it's something I noticed. Yeah.
That's fair. I actually hadn't even thought about that. I had completely forgotten about the omni positionals. Like after you took away my monk positionals, like the world disappeared for me. All right. That hitbox only matters for the sake of mechanics. And that might actually be why, because they have a lot of bosses with mechanics that hit on certain sides of the hitbox. And when the hitbox is uniform like that, it actually really sucks to not know exactly where front ends and sides.
Especially when random takes are spinning a boss.
Yeah. And also, like, no, there's like also straight up like mechanics where the boss's direction is like super relevant. And while the front arrow was always there, again, the more identifying factors are actually useful. Yeah,
front arrows, side arrows, being able to see that in half the time, not even being able to see that because there's a bunch of people doing a CE, so you can't really see the flanks half the time, especially in Berserker. Like,
Berserker's also deliberately tries to trip you up because he looks in a different direction.
I noticed that for the beginning. Yeah, just go to his axe side. That's it. Like you don't even need the arrows. Just go to his axe side.
I always look behind him. I always look behind the hitbox because he faces a direction and the hitbox faces another, and I'm like, I don't even want to look at him. That's confusing.
Yeah.
So you've it's interesting for me. I think the big thing is that it's actually somehow become almost faster than both Eureka and Bozia in terms of like.
Oh, I'll agree with that. Oh yeah,
everything like Eureka was the intent at the very least. Even with trains, the idea is you go to a spot, kill a bunch of mobs until the NM spawns, then go to another spot, kill a bunch of. And then Bozia was you can kill some things to spawn some things, and then some other things are spawning. And there's like, it's kind of okay to miss CEs in Bozia, and it's so you can kind of like, you kind of skip around the map and only do the things you want. This is like every second you're in there, something has to be happening. Basically, there's like
a little bit of downtime. A little bit of downtime between like CEs or fates, but either way, the one constant and the one thing we tell like everybody: keep your map open. Just keep the map open. Something's about to happen. And with that, like one, you talked about speed. We've been telling people the first thing you want to do, 3,000 silver.
Yep.
Get your writing map.
Yeah.
Get your writing
map. And because apparently the Fenrir doesn't work in here. I've had people tell me the Fenrir is because I don't have one, so I can't say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So get your writing map, get your speed, because you're going to be slow as shit and everybody's going to sail past you towards the CE. And then in terms of, comparing this to Bajja or Eureka, this feels smaller. I mean, it's a big area, but You
I
know,
know what you mean.
in terms of like, I'll just compare to Bajja. Bajja just felt there was a lot going on. You had to go through hell and half of Georgia just to get to one area, and there weren't that many. There weren't that many Aetherites, so you pretty much had like I want to say 3 main areas to go to, and then you just had to haul ass. This one has 4, and I think it's because of having 4 Aetherites, and they're like equidistant. I want to say, um, it doesn't feel as big, and you can just kind of get everywhere. In addition to your riding map, you can get anywhere quick. Like so, you're not going.
Still sometimes not quick enough, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes not quick enough. I mean, if you're like, maybe I can squeeze in this fate before this CE. Usually you can. If it's close by, usually you can. And even if it's far away, you can use the teleport and maybe get there in time. But yeah, it doesn't feel as spread as Eureka or Bajja.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I think that adds to the reason why it's paced the way it is. Because basically, there can only ever be one fate and one C up at a time. And then the pots are on a completely separate timer, similar to the bunnies. But man, it's like, if there were any more, honestly, I'm glad, because if there were any more, I think they know that people like me made the whole having lots of fates up at once thing a problem. Because we would just tap one thing, then leave, go to the next, tap one,
to leave, the next one.
We ruined it, is what I'm saying. And by we, I mean me, but I mean other people like me. So I think that's the big reason why they do it. But honestly, it doesn't need to be more now. It's just because you have to go so quick. Like sometimes I pivot for something and I'm like, oh, but I'm going to miss this. Like they really want you to go in there with an intent. Like go in and gold farm, go in and CE, go in and fate, go in and work on demi-atmos if you still need those, go in and treasure hunt, go in and do the magic pot. They don't want you to actually be able to do everything all the time. They want you picking an objective. And I think that's healthier in the long run. And that's good. I mean, I haven't had any issue. The problem is I want to do more, and I'm like, I can't slow myself down. Yeah,
right. So for them to not, well, okay. So again, fates and CEs, fates, yes. So fates and CEs, there can only be one at a time. So I would say keep that speed going in terms of the actual rate of things, but keep the speed at which they appear to, and actually just make more, like, because I feel like there should be a few more, I guess, fates. I mean, I'll be happy with more CEs too.
No, I'm happy,
but
different place, same joke.
Rare form, man, rare form. Yeah, I would just be content with more stuff to do, more fates and CEs, I guess. You use more of the area, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the drawback to one fate at a time is the map objective wise doesn't look as full. It's because what the objectives that are on the map are not marked. You have to know where they are.
Right.
Like if you have a fortune carrot, which we'll talk about later, then you got to know to look for all the carrot spots. If you are looking to farm chests, you got to know how to get through every chest spot. Like there's technically all the spaces used. It just doesn't have a flashing light on it that says, come here and do this thing.
Yeah, and it's not like Bajja where like, all the space was used at the same time because we had the first area, which was like the beginner area, and there was some shit going on there. And you could have that. You could have something in the third area, which was like the top area. And you could have some shit going on there for people who were, at the level, and could do it. And the beginning areas for the people who just started, the middle areas for the people who are, kind of in the middle of everything. So, yeah, and there was shit going on at the same time in all of those areas. And, you had people, I guess, farming in the top area of Bajja, and then you had people just doing CEs in the middle and whatnot. So there was always something going on. Whereas this, it's just so isolated, I guess, in terms focused. Of, it's focused. Thank you. Well, in terms of what it wants you to do, like you said.
Well, the big thing is that the way it's designed is that as long as you're willing to explore and get that initial exploration out of the way, you can go to everything. So one major criticism of Bozia and a somewhat criticism of Eureka, it was a criticism of Eureka, but it was done in a different way, was the segmenting of the zones. Eureka was segmented by the Aetherites being available by level. It's not anymore. but that was a major problem where like Pagos had its own things going on, as you know. But not being able to get the Aetheryte until you reached a certain point of progress was another point against it, and that just kind of compounded and made things worse for newer players because they couldn't get to that higher level stuff unless they had like a friend that was taxing them, and even that was scary some of the times. And then in the resistance ranks, you could only do the stuff in the bottom for the first few ranks, and then you could open the second part and you could open the third. And that was another thing that was a little frustrating as a newcomer, especially later on, because people might be off doing all of those things, and then you're stuck alone without anyone helping you for the lower rank stuff, and you can't even get to the higher rank stuff that everyone went to. So even though, and then Eureka has also the level difference. This knowledge level, they've eliminated the actual need for the knowledge level other than the threat of the zone, which makes knowledge level work like Eureka's levels in terms of the danger of exploring, but more like the resistant ranks in terms of locking your participation. So again, trying to find that middle ground of how it works. So that's why it feels that way. That's why it's more linear, is because they know that a level 1 player can literally go explore the whole map and be able to get anywhere as long as they avoid dying along the way. And they're allowed. There's no negative effect of them doing that. It's, in fact, I would say ideal, at the very least from the perspective of ease of access and reward justification.
To know where everything is.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, being able to explore and being able to know how to get around the map is incredibly useful as a new player. Knowing where the cave is, knowing where the monster spawns are. Yeah.
Knowing which monsters are where, and like knowing, hey, you might want to avoid this unless you have a treasure chest there. And if you do, good luck. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So while I think it forces the linear design more, because now that everyone can get everywhere all the time, the thought is everyone will try to go everywhere all the time. So there's too many objectives. All it does is split people, and then the fates end up overscaled, and you just have two really slow fates going at once instead of one fate that's going at an average or too fast of a speed. There's a pro and a con to every approach for it.
Right.
And so it's a matter of which you like more and which you like less. And I think this is the better for the overall health of the zone and the accessibility. And I can't imagine doing it a different way. But the big thing is that a new player really wants silver coins no matter what, and really wants levels. So even though I have tested, if you're doing a chain party, it's a little faster than spamming CEs and fates because there's no running time. You literally are just kill. There's no downtime at all. I'd say it's only about like 20% at most, if you're in a really good party for leveling, 20% faster to knowledge level in a chain party versus otherwise. Not worth it when you need to get the silver for the riding map. You need it for the armor. The armor helps a lot. And it's just easier to like get around and go to do those things. There's safer areas generally to travel to as well.
Yeah.
So it comes with a lot of benefits, I think. So it works out. Like I said, it gets me constantly going between objectives. I've enjoyed the pace of it thus far. I wouldn't mind if it was slower, but I think any other change people make would make it faster. And I think that faster or more split, and I don't think either of those goes any better. Yeah. So there's a lot of facets to it.
Yeah. Now, one thing I did want to kind of go into, well, before we get into actual individual CEs, is the use of jobs, phantom jobs. My initial thought was, within the zone itself, I mean, outside of maybe save a few abilities, like it's not as intrinsic as logograms. Logograms felt sandboxy. It was like Eureka was definitely a sandbox. Like it was like, here are these logograms that do these specific things. You can do some really stupid shit with them if you wanted to, but it was fun, right?
Yeah.
And no leveling required. You just got them. You just, it was kind of gotcha. You just got them. Or you bought them. Whereas with jobs, it's a chore. Let's go ahead and call a spade a spade. It's a chore. You have to level them a little bit. And within the zone, within the crescent, I mean, you might see a little bit of use, but it's mainly for Fork Tower. You definitely want to have these for Fork Tower. Oh.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Your words.
I understand. I'm letting you finish.
No, but that's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, until I see more utilization from them, which I probably will in Fort Tower, it's just meh to me, in my opinion.
I think you need to be more creative, because I have seen some fantastic uses for all of that stuff everywhere. The difference being is that most people aren't going to bother thinking about it outside the tower because they just want to level the next thing. So even if you can do everything with the job, if it's maxed and you have other things to level, you're not gonna be like, oh, well, I should use this for that because that. Totally agree on that front, but as a form of progression, I'm still A-okay with that. But there are so many good uses for pretty much all of the things outside of Forked Tower. Obviously, some skills are made for Forked Tower. Thief, especially with Perception and Pick Lock. Steel Weapon is another one that's very particularly for the Forked Tower. But there are some interactions or some uses for the things that just work really well. For example, they start you with Monk. And Monk is probably one of the more popular jobs. Also, A, because it is a starting job, and B, because it's generally just a very accessible one. It gives you a stacking damage buff when you kick. But if you use the kick wrong, you're going to get yourself killed. So it's hilarious.
Yeah. Where everything has a death wall.
Yeah.
And you're
There's actually surprisingly some that don't. I was surprised that some of these fates actually don't have death walls. Like the shark, you can't fall off. And there's a couple of others where it doesn't. But on top of that, it gets Chakra at level 4, I think. And Black, for that reason, Black Mage sub Monk is actually a surprisingly good combination. Because when you have 0 MP, you get 70% of your MP back, so you can really do some extended fire-related stuff. Chemist, awesome for rezzing. Anyone can res. It's got some other useful utility, but like just having that 5-second cooldown instant cast res, really good for the achievement, really good for getting people up from fates. Knight, insanely powerful defense stuff. Pledge is crazy strong. You can use that to save people in fates. You can use that to ignore stuff in fates. That's really good. But Oracle is, I think, the fan favorite at this point. So much so that I am now using this message in chat. If I have one more Oracle in my party kill themselves, I'm going to commit Starfall. I'm going to commit Starfall is definitely going in the list right next to Sudoku. I'm going to commit Starfall. It's a lot of fun. It's very dangerous, and a lot of people definitely get themselves killed in game from that. But that's the kind of stuff that is like really cool. They've got Doom. They've got a casted invulnerability on another person. Time Mage has got a massive haste buff for people. Comet is like Starfall without as much excitement. So, you know, there's always that. It's a less powerful Starfall that is less exciting to use. Yeah. So, and then on top of that, you know, Cannoneer is literally just blasting. Geo's got a ton of amazing uses already. So did you know that you can float over the many men slams on the ground?
Did not.
Every single attack they do where it's just like the X's and the jumps and the circular. The lasers, it doesn't work. But you can float over all of the many. So that's going to be like the Chocobo Reflect. Like Red Comet Reflect was the really OP option back in Bows. It's one of those interactions. Anything with Earthquake, it works on the Gill Turtle stuff too. Anything that's like a ground-focused AoE, it actually works on. So seeing that, knowing it also has interactions in the tower, I've had a lot of fun. Every time I pick up a new job, I generally can integrate it into whatever I'm using quite well. I'm doing Cannoneer right now because it's really good for solo gold farming. It's really good for group gold farming too, but you know what's the best for group gold farming? Starfall. Berserker's got some fun interactions that you can do. There's just a lot of really fun things you can do. And the big thing that I think is taking away from it is none of it's as egregious as something like Flare Star. For example, the closest thing you get is Samurai Zeninage. But if you have the gil to throw that skill around, so be it. 10,000 gil per use. You do a ton of damage.
Yeah, I kind of felt like what was it? Chemist and Samurai, based on what you can do with them, are a little bit pay to win.
And they're really good for it too. Yeah. And honestly, that's fine because like most of the OP stuff that we remember from the zones didn't happen right away. Like people thought Reflect was kind of crazy OP in Eureka.
Yeah.
But it was like, they were just like, no, what? We literally put it in there so you could do, because people were getting naked and reflecting elementals. And then there was the optimization where you would get a fully geared tank to pull a high level mob, the gliders, and then everyone else would get naked with Reflect and just blast its AoE back at it. It's like, you got to see really creative things like that.
Yeah. But
still, I'd say most people would think of like the Eagle Eye shot or double edge memes in Eureka, or, the stuff that came from like the second, like Flare Star and certain other things that came from the second zone of Zadnor. And these are much more tame than that on average. Other than, again, Zeninage. I'd say Starfall is kind of egregious too. It literally does like, you're doing like 2k to the mob, and then Starfall comes in and does like 300,000.
Yeah.
So, it's just a matter of where you're using them and how you're using them. They need to be used in an egregious situation to be egregious by nature. And I think that's fine. It's just making it so it's not as universally crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm having fun. Not to mention, one thing that you get whenever you master a job, you get an approximate, this is what the math is saying right now, 2.5% increase to your damage and healing permanently throughout the zone.
Mm.
So right now, there's 12 jobs you can master. You can't master Freelancer probably until the end of the second zone. So you're already looking at a 30% damage increase just from having everything leveled. Then the gear on some jobs will increase their power even more. And then you get like 600 main stat if you fully upgrade everything. So by the time we're done with the second
that takes
zone,
a lot of gold and or silver.
That's does, a lot of silver, but that constant scaling up of the power means some of the skills will feel better later with the gear and with the overall damage. And it means that as we build into the second zone, it retroactively makes the first zone easier. I guess my only question will be is how much of the first zone do you really need to do? I'm assuming completely different currencies between the two, which will mean that people will have good reason to do both at some point or another. I also really hope, and we'll talk about this later, that later relic steps go back and incorporate, like the final ones in 7.5, incorporate forcing you to go back to Occult Crescent. I really hope they do that, but not optimistic about that. But we'll talk about that a bit later.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Oh no, trust me. It might be because this first zone might be easier. It might technically be better for some things. Because I'd imagine the second zone is scaled on the idea that you've probably mastered some jobs and are going to master more. But we'll talk about that a bit later. I like the job system. It's just not as insane as like some of the lost actions and logogram stuff that people know exist.
Yeah. Sidetracking to the relic. I'm assuming you're eventually going to do a stream or collection of streams where you're going to get all the relics.
Already working on it.
Okay. How were you feeling?
Before we go, it's kind of unavoidable that I'm working on them at this point, which we'll talk about just now in your next question.
Yeah. How are you feeling about Demi-Atma?
Demi-Atma are fine. They're about the same acquisition rate overall as the original Atmas, which took about 20 to 30 hours on average of just dedicated fate grinding for most people back in A Realm Reborn. So for me, that's nothing wrong with that. I had mine by the second day. So yeah, about 20 hours total for me to get them. Yeah.
I would say all the colors except one. If you just bang your head against Occult Crescent, you're going to end up with them. Except one. And I'm talking about the south, the
one with Calamity Bound?
You can only get Calamity Bound. There's one other there's one other CE there.
Well, no,
so
there's only
two
one. No, there's only one CE there. There's two fates though, because the fates.
Yeah, there's two fates
too.
Yeah, the fates can drop them too. But again, it's getting calamity is, people would have the one spawn it, so it's not going to be that often. And then like the fates, you're just hoping and praying they come up. So for my group, our solution was just to go to Kazama Uka, and it was quicker that way. Honestly, yeah. Like it took because in the 2 days that I did it for Demi Atma, did not see one of that one, and went to Kazama Uka, took maybe an hour and a half, maybe a little bit less than that. I was done by just doing fates because everybody was doing fates, and so. Yeah, so I think, honestly, again, for all the other colors, just bang your head against Occult Crescent, you'll get them. But if the need arises, if you feel like you are unlucky in a certain color of Demi Atma, just go do the fates. It's not as bad, and it's probably a little bit quicker in terms of your chances to get it.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the last ones I needed, but it wasn't the last one I got. The last one I got was the beach. It took me forever to get all three from the northwest section of the map. Like an extra few hours after I had gotten the last Demi-Atma from the southwest. But I mean, yeah, you can do that. But like the Demi-Atmas again, like there's not much for me to really think about. Like you will just eventually get all of them. I think what concerned people before this was known was how long it was taking to get them, knowing full well they wanted to make multiple relics.
Right.
What people didn't know immediately, obviously, was that you only do the Demi-Atmos a single time.
That's it. And then you just pay.
And then it costs, and this is going to be mind-boggling to people. Huge, huge surprise, never been done before, 1,500 tomes.
Which you probably have anyway because you're doing Occult Crescent.
Didn't like that. Didn't like that at
all. Wait. So you I mean, collectively, I would say that we like the whole Demi-Atma, the whole Demi-Atma hunt, but is the right after that a lot of people had a problem with. Because I'm assuming there's going to be a step like that for the next step of the relic.
I genuinely think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think every step is going to be one-time step, and then 1,500 tomes is my fucking concern.
Right. So it's not exactly 1-to-1 in terms of Endwalkers, where it's just pay to win, just pay and get the fuck out. No, it's like you got to do a bit of work, and I'll admit the amount of work that you had to do for a relic is, I think, right. I think right. It might be more in the next step. Hopefully it is. We'll see. But again, your victory lap is just going to pay for it. And that's it. You've already done the work. You've at least done some work. You didn't just, your work wasn't that you just got the tomes. No, you had to get the Demi-Atma. So there's probably going to be a step where you do some work, albeit a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, and then you pay for it again.
I hate that. It's no better than
Why?
It's literally, it doesn't make it any better than Endwalker. It's literally
Endwalker. So you just want a step. You just want a step where it's just nothing but work. No money changing hands.
Here's what I want. Tomes are a good option. This was the main feedback with Endwalker. It wasn't that you should never use tomes. It's that tomes are a great option for people who don't really want to do a dedicated hardcore grind. But they casually play the game, they do roulettes, they do whatever, they will get tomes, and thus they will gradually progress the relic. That is actually how several relic steps in the past have been done in the more grindy relics. Not all of them, but there have been steps where you just log in and do your dailies every day. You're probably going to finish relics sooner or later. That's great. That's perfect. Awesome. The problem is when you demand that it's tomestones and nothing else. Why can't I just collect extra Demi-Atmas and exchange them for the material that I'm buying? Like, it should be like 500 tomes. Let you buy one of the items. One of these 3 Demi-Atmas each. Let you buy an item. One of these 3 Demi-Atmas. Let you buy. give me reasons to engage with the rest of, like, to engage with specific pieces of content. Like, if I want to go do fates to work on my shared fates and I have the Relic quest active, great. I can get Demi-Atmas at the same time as I'm doing that. If I want to go do Occult Crescent and I can get Demi-Atmas from there and exchange it, great. And then you leave the 500 Tombstone option there. You never get rid of it. You just leave it in that spot. And guess what? Even if someone is like, oh, you know, great, I'll just get tomes from Occult Crescent. Great. What if you could get Demi-Atma and tomes and use both? I'm just helping you make it even faster. I'm actually making what you want to do even easier. I'm helping you.
Want lights again? Do you just want lights again?
I would love a light farm step. We're getting one. I guarantee you one step will be a light farm. A one-time light farm, but it will be a light farm.
Yeah, it's going to be a one-time thing. And yeah, I kind of fucking hated lights, to be fair. I fucking hated it.
I love lights. I loved like getting on and being like, what's bonus? How can we optimize it? What's the fastest we can get it done? And you know what? If you don't want to do lights, you know what you did, Sly? You did your roulettes every day and just hoped you got something in bonus. And if not, great, you still made progress.
What I don't want is books. Do not mention books. Fuck books. Books can kiss my fucking ass. I hate books. No, we are never going back to books. Jesus Christ, no. Hell no. I never want to see books again. If they ever do books, if one of these steps is books, I'm out. I'm done. Mm-mm.
What if the book just asks you to grind light and it's literally just the light grind?
No.
That was a nice Tracy Morgan moment for you right there. No. Hell no.
God.
I'll refuse. No. Why do you want the Relic to be tedious? What's tedious about giving you more options? That's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It's not even the fact that it's just more options. Just people just want shit to do. And they don't want to just go walk up and just, a Relic is in the past has been, and I get this, it's been something you work towards. And I get it. And in Endwalker, what are you working towards? You just walk up to a vendor and say, hey, here's your Relic. That doesn't feel epic, does it? You just don't go to for my example, you don't go to a grocery store. You don't go to a Harris Teeter. I'm like, hey, I would like one Relic, please. Okay. No, that's not epic at all. You just went to a grocery store and paid for your shit. Like people want shit to do. And that's what I feel like the main core of it is. People just want shit to do. They want it to feel like they work towards it. I mean, shit. Cosmic Exploration, Moon's Haunted. You are literally, grinding for a fucking Relic. Like, and albeit you get a bonus the more you
maybe
and the mech. Maybe. Albeit you get a bonus for each Relic you've done. And I kind of appreciate that. You decreasing the work as you've done the work for the first few, and you get the bonus for whatever, main hand you want to work on, like later down the line. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, I mean, I would kind of be okay if that was the case here, where, you did the work and, hey, you get a bonus. Then your next Relic, you don't have to do as much.
Yeah,
that's great. I can appreciate it, but still do a little bit of work.
A first time step that takes a little bit to get through, followed by a complete consistency. I have no problem with it. I just don't like and also just getting tomes is more tedious than what I'm asking. That's the thing. I'm trying to make it less tedious by adding options instead of only allowing tomes. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to restrict it to especially because, and this is coming from someone who has made every Relic for every job in the game. A reminder, most of y'all motherfuckers don't even have one. Or if you do, you have one or two. Motherfuckers, I have every combat Relic from every expansion in the game. All of them. My inventory is fucked.
True. It's true. He's on drugs. Yes, it's true.
But at some point, this step becomes poetics, and every Relic is a billion poetics already. Manderville added tens of thousands of poetics worth. So what if you're doing this an expansion later, and you're like, man, I want to make relics from multiple expansions. What do I need? Poetics for my Zodiac weapon, poetics for my Animal weapon, poetics for my... Well, you don't need them for the Eureka weapon. You escape there. Poetics for my fucking Endwalker weapon. Poetics for my fucking Dawn Trail. Just options. Because guess what? Now, let's say in the next expansion, I want to work on my Anima weapon and a Dawn Trail weapon at the same time, right? And let's say I was like, oh, you know what I wish I could do? I wish I could go into the Occult Crescent, work on tomes there, but then maybe I get Demi-Atmas and I can use that to like lessen the amount of tomes that I need for the Dawn Trail relic while using my tomes to work on the Anima weapon. Even if you just want one, maybe if you just never did the old weapons, right? You're like, oh, you know what? Actually, that weapon looks really cool. I'm not saying you have to make all of them, but I'm saying this was why the Shadowbringer's relic was great, because you can multitask your relic steps. This is me multitasking the game. Again, it's not about changing it. It's about making it so tomes aren't the only option.
Side note, one thing in terms of, multitasking, side note, I like the option of going out and doing fates.
Yep.
But a lot of people had asked the question, hey, Sly, if I'm going out to do it because I'm an Uka to do fates or so-and-so to do fates, can I switch to a job that I don't have? Nope. You have to be 100. And I thought that was stupid a little bit. I mean, there's no leveling in Occult Crescent. I get that, but you should still be able to level and still get shit if you have the quest for it. That's a small gripe.
Yeah. I don't know why people are so against having more options. We play more than you. I get it. Like, let us have options. You just want to be on the same foot. That's great. But we want options.
Yeah.
And like, here's the again with fate grinding. What if you wanted to work on bicolor gemstone stuff? What if you want to work on sheer fate? That was the big thing about a Realm Reborn relics. We didn't have as many reasons to do like other content back then. So, for example, being stuck at max level doing fates, that's bad now. But in a Realm Reborn, it was the same. You were stuck at max level. You had to be like level 50 with the weapon on.
Yeah, at least you do get bicolor gemstones, and that's what I was saying during my fate farm. Yeah, at least I'm getting bicolor gemstones.
Yeah, you can make a little bit of gil, or you could work on the mount, or you could get whatever like rewards. Again, there's something tied to like tie it all together, so it gets you out there and doing things that maybe you don't normally engage with. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they just added an option, keyword option, if I could go into the variant dungeons and get them from clears in there. I wouldn't care. I might not even choose to do it, but hey, it's an option. Like, I'm just like, that was the big thing with Endwalker is everyone's like, wait, why didn't they just add something to variant so that you could like maybe do it there? And I'm like, I know.
Is that going to be the name of the show? Options.
What's that?
Options.
Yeah. Let's buy poetics from the mock station. I'm not gonna lie, I could see it happening. not even fucking trolling. I can honestly see it happening at some point.
Oh, the goddess of the mock station is probably considering it. Hey, you can get a full thing of poetics for what, $20? Sure. Yeah, cool. Great.
Yeah, Shadowbringer Relic. You could do Stormblood Fates for one of the steps. That was an option. We didn't have. There's no Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no gemstones from those, which was kind of unfortunate. They like stuck you to the ones without gemstones. So
yeah.
But still, either way, I like it when we're given options. So this relic is only marginally better, and especially because the rate of Tombstone acquisition in Occult Crescent, it's not nothing, but it's not a lot. You only get them from CEs, and you get 20 per CE, and so you're talking about like on average 120 an hour.
So put that into perspective. You're like 20 per CE, but you're in there for a whole instance, which is
you're probably getting 360 at most in that time.
So yeah, you like so for 3 hours, you're pretty much in terms of mathematics. You just said mathematics or heliometry for 20.
Whichever's uncapped. I never fucking remember.
Okay. So that's heliometry. So it's probably half that for mathematics. So probably 10. Yeah, you would probably be better off either A, doing a hunt train or something or whatnot, and then still doing your dailies. But still, I mean, if you're just doing the content, yeah, you're getting buku fucking tombstones.
Buku?
So
What the hell is buku?
I mean, you're doing a lot of shit. Like,
no,
you're
what
in
is
there for
that?
You never
I'm
heard
asking
buku?
what? No, I've never heard of buku, Sly.
Yes. There you go. Thank you, chat.
It's French. Why are we? Expedition 33 has just added French to people's vocabulary. It's literally all that's happened here.
Yeah,
I don't remember them saying the word buku in that game, but I was too busy crying.
It's a popular, I guess.
Popular? I've never heard it again in my life. You can't say it's popular if I've never heard it before. Sly.
Yeah, it's been around forever. Exactly. I can't believe you haven't heard this.
People have to use it. It's also, you're saying it wrong, but that doesn't help. Doesn't change the fact I've never heard it before.
Yeah, it's said wrong intentionally.
Is this what it's like? Bucks? It's like, what is it, like LaCroix, where I just call it La Croix, like an asshole?
La Croix, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Which is actually a French word, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard this before in my life. So but yeah, options. I didn't know it was a bad opinion to be like, man, I wish we had more options to obtain. The same thing happened with Endwalker, where people just like, oh, they just want it to be a grind. Bitch, I want options.
Oh my god.
Supposed to be keeping my blood pressure low. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the relics, they could do better.
That's the point. That's the end all be all point. It could be better. Yeah, we went through so many tangents on that, but it could be better. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting down to the nitty gritty and down to the actual content of Occult Crescent, CEs. Let's talk about CEs.
CEs are fun. I mean, they're the same thing. Just these one, you just basically have to say how you feel about these specific ones. They're bosses at the end of the day.
They're bosses. Yeah, not too difficult. I mean, like people ask me how I feel about it. I'm like, it's not too hard, not too easy. It's a little tough, but fair. It's fair at the same time. It's not like savage or anything where it's just, you got to be on it. No, it's just, you do something wrong, you get a stack. You get a lot of stacks, you'll probably die. And you'll have those stacks until you die or finish the fucking CE. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have any standout CEs for you? Any favorites?
The trade tortoise, who I can't stop calling Guild
Hustle Turtle, my boy.
That's Hustle my boy. Turtle.
Hustle Turtle.
Sure. We can go with Hustle Turtle too. Yeah, Trade Turtle is definitely a standout. I feel like most of them are pretty good. They're all at the end of the day, and they're just Final Fantasy 14 fights. Like, we actually had the what's it called? The demon. We had him break free of the seal briefly today, and we learned.
Okay, so you don't die when he breaks free of the seal.
You have a second to finish sealing him, is what we learned. Because he broke out at cast. He was like, I'm free! And then he started, he was, super angry. And then we hit the last one, and he was like, meddlesome. He was free for, 2 seconds before we put him back in his hole. Yeah, the pot CE is another really big standout. And by standout, I mean everyone's afraid for their lives. Non-stop.
Yeah, especially with server ticks.
That's not server ticks. That's...
No, I'm saying if you have server ticks, it can kind of suck.
Oh. No, just be better. Like when I get hit, it's my fault. Just admit, just be better. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Like I've got more ping now, so I don't want to hear the excuse. Yeah, and then there's oh my god, you know it's the for fates. Have you seen the giant? So there's one that's literally just giant bird, which is great.
Giant burb, yeah.
Apparently,
that thing has you schmooving. You are constantly schmooving, and you will probably schmoove in front of a Gale Cannon.
Have you ever had somebody try to tap and leave that fate?
No.
So what a lot of people don't know about Final Fantasy XIV is that some enemies are hard-coded. If they want to pull off, if they have an attack that's scripted, they will non-stop look to acquire the target that they intended on their aggro list, no matter how far away they are.
Oh, so it keeps chasing. Now, I've seen that. I've seen it go outside of its intended arena, but not that far. How far has it gone?
I have seen it run to the shark, CE, because that's most of the time where people... And what's really funny is I think it has to Gale Cannon 6 times before it'll reset. It has to finish all of its Gale Cannons from the moment it starts doing the spam. And I've seen it literally like killed from like 50% to 0, like halfway to the etherite that's nearby. And it's really funny when it happens. It's really frustrating because usually it means that you fucked out of it because you have to leave, because then you're gonna have to leave and get to the CE. But it's really funny at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a lot of really funny interactions and moments like that with the Fates and the CEs as well. But yeah, I mean, the only CE, there's one CE I see people complain about, and it's the very first one, the noise complaint one. I don't see I guess some people hate the sound the Calibris
The Garula?
Yeah, some people just literally like get triggered by the sounds that Calibris make. Like they have like a what's the thing where like sounds? There's a name for it.
I'm not sure.
There's something like sounds. Sure. There's like literally unexplained sounds like trigger people. There's like I've had I don't know. Is it misophonia? I don't know. I'm looking. No, not tinnitus. Misophonia. There you go. Yeah. This fucking birds that I hate. I had a cat that I hate. Now I have a bird.
I fucking hate those birds. Those are mean girl birds. And the Garula is just a fat fuck. And what I mean by fat fuck is that his hitbox is way bigger than it possibly it seems than it actually seems when he charges. So you can be on the side, you can be on his side and he charges. You can be like literally on his side, on the side of his hitbox, and he charges right through his path. And you will still get hit because his hitbox is fat as fuck. And I fucking hate it.
So I think you're just in the way, is what you don't realize.
No, I'm not. I'm on the side. I can see where he's going. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And he just goes. I'm like, where the fuck did I get hit? Are you just that fat?
You want to know what's funny, Sly?
He's fat.
Geo's float works on the ground slams when he charges to the location.
Oh, God.
So if you really want to have an easy time, then
I'll just get Geo then.
It doesn't work on the lightning or him walking through you, which seems to be your chief problem. Right. But you know, just don't get hit by those.
Yeah.
Sly. Just don't get charged through. Simple.
But I'm on his side. I'm not even in his path. I'm on his side.
That's what you thought.
He's just fat. He's just fat.
Nah, that's what you
and
thought.
The mean girls are picking on him.
Just as a reminder, have you never seen the charge animation and its hitbox before? Because they all have a wider, like, we've seen that animation, and in theory, it's the same one where he's doing a box AoE and not a charge in that direction. Like, the first boss of Steel Vigil?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that AoE. I think.
I'm just thinking it's him. Yeah, but yeah, it makes sense now.
Yeah. It's either that or you're in his hitbox and you're wrong. It's one of the two. I think it's what I'm saying, though.
Because I'm like, where the fuck did this stack come from? I wasn't in his path or anything. So apparently he's just fat as fuck.
Yeah, he's got I forget the name of the AoE. Route? I think is the name of the charge that is used by the other like mammoths and shit.
Yeah.
Something like
that.
That
makes more sense now.
I still
Like
think
in the
you're probably
water
getting
birth.
hit, but no, I think mine makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the CEs, they're all fine. They're all fun. I don't mind doing them a whole bunch until it's the Berserker who takes 4 days to give me my Berserker soul, but that's behind me now.
That fucking Lion Rampant, fucking
I
Black
can't believe
Star.
they named
None
one
of them.
Lion Rampant. I can't believe they named it.
I know.
Lion Rampant.
That is the funnest fucking name. I love that. I'm there for it. I fucking love it. But yeah, they all won't give him my shit. So great. And yeah, like Black Star, not as bad as Red Comet. Not as bad. Actually pretty easy. I thought he was going to catch a lot of bodies. Nah, he's not that bad.
No, most of them aren't. The only things I've seen go really wrong, the dolls almost surviving on the urn the first day was really funny. Because we're like, oh, just stand away from them as they ignite. We're like, wait, these are really slow. Wait, these things are killable. Oh.
Yeah, I've seen one explode, and it does a pretty good amount of damage. But then again, I was playing one night, so I didn't feel anything, and a lot of other people must have died.
It's okay, Sly. I never feel anything. That's called being a sociopath. Oh man. Yeah, they're all fun. I have a good time with them.
Yeah.
I don't have too much to say. I'm glad there's another Chocobo. They all have pretty. They're just. I don't mind. Whatever. Like this, as long as they're good fights, that's all that matters to me. And Dawn Trail's already had good fights up to now, so
Yeah.
there's continuing that trend to me as far as I'm concerned. But there's one more thing. I could talk about the treasure chests. Could talk about, hunting around the map. Could talk about the bunnies being assholes and their carrots never dropping. Oh, one thing actually with the treasure chest I could talk about. You mentioned how they put everything and their mother's sock drawer in the coffers. Not something they did I'm not a huge fan of.
Okay.
Is they put all of the bunny stuff from Pyros and Hydados and all the Gabriel mounts and the Raptor mount from the Dalriada, they're all in the coffers.
Oh, you mean the regular coffers, not the
Yes.
pot coffers? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
They put all the expensive Eureka and Bosia stuff in these coffers, and everyone's just like, ooh, a Raptor. Ooh, I've got like 4 Gabriels on me right now. Not a huge fan, in all honesty, because I like when different markets are preserved, and these markets are not preserved.
They are fucked. Congratulations.
There's still reason to do those things that aren't these, but I don't like to see that reason removed.
So yeah, you can really, you don't even have to do pots. You can just literally go on a treasure hunt and go to some fuck off place, and maybe dangerous. It may be dangerous, but shit, you might find something good.
The thing is, Sly, I might really want to do pot farming. It's going to be a tough call.
Please don't.
Do you know? No. Well, not for the achievement, Sly, but I might get the achievement along the way. From what I've heard, ether fixatives, which are required for the +1 upgrade, are normally 1,600 gold. Apparently, they're in the magic pot coffers as well.
Gold chests?
Yes. From what I've been told, they are. I have not witnessed it, and thus I am only regurgitating. But I've had enough people tell me that it happens for me to believe it.
Have you gotten the double chest?
Oh, yeah. That was actually the very first pot that I got. I thought you were going to ask me if I got the double ether spun, because you get the ether spun gold from the regular coffers. Yep. Chat's confirming that there are ether fixatives. Yep. So if you want to save some. So honestly, what I might do is I might go into instances, solo farm, track the timer on the pot fates, and just solo farm until a pot fate's about to come up. And then go to the pot fate. Like that might genuinely be the play for gold and ether fixatives and stuff.
Yeah.
So again, good reason to be doing a bunch of things around the map at least.
Yeah.
Means I got some pots in my future, and I've yet to get a fortune carrot. Not even gotten a. I've found the.
Oh yeah, same. I don't even think them bitches exist for me. Hell no, I haven't seen one.
You can sell them on the market board and buy them on the market board. Funnily enough, So if someone wants to buy their way to the 500 bunny achievement, they can.
How much are they going for in the market?
I think 600K last I checked, but here's the thing. I think you're guaranteed 200,000 or 300,000 gil back no matter what from a bunny. So I don't think they'll ever go for less than that. Most people are probably going to sell them for like 400K.
Not bad.
I had someone say they got 200K back. Maybe they just misremembered. But yeah, you
not
get
a bad
100,000.
return.
Yeah, somebody said they got 200. There you go.
Yeah, not a bad return. I mean, if you get really, really lucky, that's a market too. So there you go.
Yeah. And literally, there's no way those ever go below that value, because why would somebody sell it on the market for less than what you get from the bunny, guaranteed?
Because they're stupid, and if you ever find one, buy it up.
Yeah.
It'll probably happen. Trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Flip it.
Yeah. Can you only do chaining for gold? You have to kill monsters. It doesn't have to be chaining. I just solo killing level 12s. And I like I said, I can get like 1,800 gold an hour approximately doing that. And that's now. When I get more mastery and shit, that's going to keep going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's one last thing to talk about.
Okay.
We will do a more extensive show about it, but we will do at least the impressions now. Fork Tower. So now, first, let me start with the criticism.
I myself haven't been in, so I'm leaning completely on you for this. I've seen a little bit on streams and whatnot. Looks interesting, but yeah, I'll lean on you. Go ahead and give us your full perspective or your perspective thus far.
So I'll start with my chief complaint. We were concerned about this coming in, and it is a concern still.
Okay.
In theory, you can just pull together 48 people in a zone and at least attempt it, right? That's how it's designed. It's called a public dungeon. For those who never did BA, the official term is public dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, that never happens. What ends up happening is groups form on Discord, make alliances outside, and time queues to get into the same instance. Now, that is something that was criticized in Eureka. It was annoying. But we at least had 144 people per zone in Eureka, which meant 48 out of the 144. Somewhat reasonable to get in. It's only 72 now. So the odds of some groups entering an instance and filling it and then creating another instance that then subsequently gets filled by more players is very likely. So it's very hard to get a coordinated group of 48 people together. If you're going to make it a permadeath style raid, here's the thing. I think it's okay to make it so 48 people have to queue in. Maybe add a queue that's like lets you queue with 48 into the instance so you can guarantee you're all in the instance, you know? And that's not even where the problem ends, Sly.
Keeps going.
There is a support fate, sort of, which means you, in theory, either need to make sure the 24 people on the outside of the raid are competent, or you need an additional 8 people to get queued in. And neither of those scenarios is very good. When you're, again, considering that there's only 24 spare spots. So
wait, you had I remember you had a command. I think you had a chat command for one of the support
I
dates.
sure do. On Twitch, it's !arse.
I need to see that again.
And I believe that someone made
there it is.
So I believe someone made a new one that's just, Yep. Oh, there it is. All occult gamers. Mr. Happy is in great danger. Needs your help to wipe out the Magitar in the Fort Tower. There it is. To do this, he needs a thief and a couple of occult dispels. To help him, all he needs is your credit card number and the 3 numbers on the back with the expiration date. But you got to be quick so you can secure the clear and achieve the epic world. You know who made that initial text, right?
Who?
Larry. Larry got into our world first instance, and when we got world first, he shouted that in the instance. He was shouting that when we were entering. That was Larry.
Our boy.
So, That's the thing. Yeah, now we have the new one with the occult dispels and everything. I guess I could put that as exclamation mark fork. We had exclamation mark arse, and now we have exclamation mark fork.
Fork.
Here. Look, let's just do that
on the fly,
real quick. On the fly, real quick. Let's see. Copy. Exclamation mark adcom. Exclamation mark fork. There we go. Now we there we go. And now you can have fork and arse. It has a default cooldown of 30 seconds, so no spamming it just yet. I'll have to change that on the back end. Yeah, that's not great, Sly. That part is... I don't mind it being in zone, but you need the mechanisms to organize it as well. Because unfortunately, it also... So this also happened with BA and gradually went away with time. But people sniping entry away from the pre-made... The pre-made, let's be clear, has no right of access. If they want that, they can buy as many ciphers as they want and ensure it. That's on them. And yeah. I don't think you can reasonably expect people to not want to get involved when they see it in the zone. It's okay to maybe ask, but asking comes with its own problem because you could ask nicely and people be like, well, fuck you. Now I hate you for no reason and I'm just going in. That's why that command exists in the first place. Is to ask people. That was originally a command that was trying to ask people to not take the portal. And became that.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's rough. And there are mechanics in Fork Tower where if one person doesn't know how to do it, you absolutely will wipe the entire raid. It is not like that you can let that one person die and no matter what, you could just figure everything. No. If they get targeted by certain things, and especially if there's multiple, you will wipe outright. There's no way. So, at the very least, what I'm hoping it evolves into, and this was something that happened in weeks 2, 3, and 4 with BA, if you got someone who sniped, instead of being like, fuck, you tell them, hey, get into comms and listen to calls.
Yeah.
And you hope that they'll do that. Because at the very least, that's some method of minimizing the problem.
Minimizing, but not 100%.
Yeah.
And see, like, again, when BA was a thing, and I kind of took issue with BA just because of this. And I don't think there's a good compromise for it. Like it's something you can't queue for. It's something that's done within the instance itself that you have to have. There's a currency for it within the instance and you use that currency to get in. And I get it. There has to be a compromise to where, you're not depending on the kindness of strangers.
Yeah,
where you could do it as a party and you can, party up and you can, get together in Discord and yada, 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 without depending on, hey, can you please not go in?
I have the middle ground.
That was
I have.
Okay.
I know what it is. There is actually and it's really easy. People want the DRS queue. I think if we get the DRS, the problem with the DRS queue is actually that we then, I have no problem doing another DRS. But BA and DRS are totally different beasts in terms of what they're asking for the player.
Oh, yeah.
Because DRS is something that you couldn't actually get any weaker. So dying and losing your resistance rank was a non-factor. It was effectively just go in till you perma-die, then start over, go again. And just make sure you know what the actions are. BA is know everything ahead of time, and everything's a lot easier. Like BA, even this, honestly not that hard mechanically. Like as expected, it's like barely even extreme trial. Like it's between like Alliance raid and extreme trial. Like it's not asking a whole lot. It's just if you make a mistake, the consequences are severe. And there's puzzles to be solved with the jobs. But here's the answer. And this is going to answer everyone's concern. Because people were maybe hoping for another CLL and Dalriada. And people wanted another BA and DRS. And they wanted another BA style thing. Here's what you do. Put the entrance to the Fork Tower in the middle, exactly as it is now. Mm-hmm. Bring it down to CLL level.
Okay.
But if a group enters and they all put in a cipher, it will force spawn the tower and only they can go in. Make everyone require the cipher. And that's the Fork Tower we have now. And if they do that, the regular Fork Tower won't spawn in the instance. I don't care if that messes other people up from doing CLL, whatever. That's like that's the middle ground right there. Because it's either everyone in the zone's not doing it anyway, or it's going to get ignored somewhere down the line. Like the problem with CLL and Dalriada, and we see those now, is they're just ignored. They're like a major gateway because they were the casually accessible thing and because they were a part of the progression of everything. They're just gone. Like nobody does them. They just skip them. There's no point. I think we need to avoid that again. I do think some of that's because leveling is a play as well. I just think if you want to get around this, just give, or even if you just want to leave it as is without a CLL equivalent, just make it so all 48 people can trade a cipher, force it to spawn and go in. And then they still lose the level, and maybe they even still have to wait on the cooldown. Who cares? Give them 30 minutes. Same deal after wiping before they can't go in. So they can't just spam it back to back, leave the same difficulty. Just let me go to an NPC and trade in a cipher and get going. That still comes with its own problems. People can still technically snipe a cipher trade. Like if somebody's like, oh, there's a group in here all about to trade ciphers, I'm going to throw a cipher in. Still has a downside. But it allows you to do the end zone stuff, like with the support fate and everything. Yeah. But also let us queue in as a group of 48 or 56. So yeah. Now, that being said, Fork Tower itself is a lot of fun. It's BA again. There's a lot of little things to explore, a lot of little interactions, forced job compositions in terms of like what specific things you need. First boss, you need to dispel 2 targets, so you need a time mage. The hallway, need Geomancer. There's ground fields you have to walk over, but you can technically cheese them and not use Geo, but you're going to bring a Geo because Geo's good anyway. Thief for detecting the traps. Ranger can destroy the stable traps, although there's unstable traps they're not allowed to destroy too, which was a fun little thing I thought they added. Not a big deal, but I'm glad they did. Thief can also open hidden doors to bonus loot, and trust me, you want the bonus loot. You're going to need a lot of Sanguinite. And then I haven't seen past the second boss. I know a few things about like the other bosses, but I got to enrage on the second boss with the limited number of attempts I went in there. And the second boss is it's a good time. I don't think the second boss has any forced job interactions. None that I can think of. Some cool stuff you can do with like Pledge. Romeo's comes up after the second boss. I knew it! I've been saying Romeo's Ballad was going to be needed for something in there because it's fucking useless outside for the most part. Not useless, but limited use outside. I knew it. I knew you were going to need Romeo's Ballad. There was no way they were going to add an AoE stop and be like, it doesn't work on most things.
Yeah.
Got it. But yeah, it's a good deal of fun. I really like what they've done with the boss design. I really like what they've done with the progression through with looking for the traps. I mean, it's home again. It's literally BA DRS, same vibe all over again. So thumbs up. Big thumbs up. I'm looking forward to the other Forked Tower next.
Oh, you mean the north?
Yeah, the North Horn.
But
no, like we know the name of the other tower in the Forked Tower. The quest NPC tells us it's called Forked Tower Magic.
Oh yeah, this one's Blood.
Yeah, Blood and Magic.
Yeah. And speaking of Romeo, does Romeo do the thing where it interrupts, it stops something, but it interrupts the cast? You know how I forget what it was. Something stopped the cast, and then if it was doing like an AoE, it just stopped for 3 seconds.
Oh no, I see. I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't think that happens here. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I forgot about that. That was in Bosnia.
I want to say it was in Bosnia. If you stop something and it froze in the middle of an AoE, and you're like, okay, I'm good, and then It
It would
unfroze.
unfreeze and blast you in the fucking face. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember when. I remember talking about that. I remember it happening even. But I don't remember the case scenario. Oh, no, that's Eureka Orthos. Okay, no, that's different. That's way different. Okay. That's right. That happened in Eureka Orthos. That was the Petrify. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it's not the same type of situation. No, because the Petrify was just like, yeah. Besides, that wouldn't happen here with the specific use case for it anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's then dude, the number of people running Samurai and throwing millions of gil at bosses, literally every attempt.
Literal pay to win. Love it.
It does a lot of damage.
Yeah, but that's a mill though. I mean, yeah, some people make that every fucking day off the boards and everything, but shit, you're throwing a mill. You're literally throwing a mill. I could not. I mean, I kind of do that with housing shit anyway, but no, I could not.
It's just so funny to me. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's 10,000 gil per item, and every 2 minutes you can use it. Every 20 minutes. People have been asking for gil sinks for years. There you go.
How much was the chemist potion? Was like 300 or something, or 100,000?
Yeah, but the potion's not really. I mean, the potion's nice, but it's not the make or break really thing. I don't think anyone's really. People mostly want the raise, which is not the 300,000 potion.
No, 300,000 potion is like a heal all for your entire group, I think.
Yeah, it's an HP and MP full restore for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's there. That's, don't get me wrong, that's great. Like if you need it for something, like I would probably, if I was being forced to take chemist, I would be like, I'll keep a couple of these in my inventory just to make sure that I if I have it, I could use it. But no, yeah, that's the Zeninage thing is like they're using it on, like they're like, this is my rotation. Like this is my Phantom Samurai. Like this is part of what I do now. So, yeah. Chemist Ethers are clutch. Yeah, 1,500 potency for 10,000 gil.
Anti-Yojimbo. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, I don't want to, because we're going to do a dedicated show on the Fork Tower, especially once I've actually finished the whole thing, which hopefully it will be by the end of this weekend. Yeah, it's just, it's fun. It's a good time. Just wish getting in was easier. Yeah. Not even easier. Less weird. Just be less weird.
I'd say easier.
It's not like it's hard. It's not hard to get in. It's hard to get the people in the same place to get it.
That's the thing. That's the thing that we need, easier is getting your group together.
I wish it didn't take 2 months to get here. You mean 8 months? I wish I was here 8 months ago. Especially with the amount of coins you're going to need if you want to actually complete a set of armor.
Yeah, and that goes back to another question. Now that we have both Moons Haunted and Occult Poisson, would this have made a difference?
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of Dawn Trail.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. This grind is clearly made with the fact that we don't get another zone for quite some time in mind.
Right.
Because it's a lot. It's a lot. So, like, I just wish this was in 7.15. That's it. I think that's all I really need. That's what it comes down to. I wish this was 7.15 at the end of the day. Because for anyone who hasn't done the math, it is 20,000 silver pieces per base armor set. It is then 3,600 silver per piece in each armor set to get to +1. It is also, if you don't get the ether fixatives from magic pots, 4,800 gold combined. So 3,600 silver, 4,800 gold for the first upgrade per piece. And then the actual last step is it's kind of unironically the easiest. The +2 is the easy one. Etherspun golds come from coffers around the map. You need a lot of them if you were to do every piece, but realistically, that's pretty easy to just open chests around the map to get Etherspun gold. And then the Sanguinites are from Fork Tower, which means you just have to do a bunch of Fork Tower. 60 Sanguinite, I think, per piece. And you get, for the first boss alone is worth 6, I think, if you do the side rooms. So I'd assume that in total, you probably get about the same number of Eureka fragments. And I also assume we'll need these for the Relic at some point. Not for the main upgrade, but for the optional. Like, so at some point down the line, we'll probably get the optional upgrade to give it, like, special attribute and main stat as well. But you do get some from the support fate. You actually do. So this was a piece of feedback I had for Eureka. I said they should give Eureka fragments from the support fate. They do give you Sanguinite from the support fate here.
Probably albeit less. I'm assuming like maybe 3 or 1.
I'd have to confer to somebody else's knowledge. I don't know. I only know that you do indeed get Sanguinite from the support fate, which means you can actually work towards the +2 without ever stepping foot into Fork Tower, which is something I thought they should have done for Eureka. You get 2. Okay, so it'll take you 30 support fates to get 1 piece, but it's something. I'm glad it's not nothing, at the very least. You know, that's a plus. I honestly think it could be more. I think they could give 6. I think that would be fine. I know the first boss is 6, but hey, if a group's doing Fork Tower, I think it's fine if it would give 6. Personally. Because it's essential for the people inside to clear. You can't win if you don't kill the support fate. The final boss is unkillable if you don't do the support fate. So you really want to make sure people want to do the support fate. Yeah. But that's nice.
And there's no real way. There's no real way to, if you're in Fork Tower, there's no real way to contact the outside.
No, you can, but they have to cooperate.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like within the game, like within like a chat or something, within like, you know, a shout or a yell or anything, there's no real way to like say, hey, we're in here. Can y'all do the support fate? Shout,
you
chat?
Can shout.
So you can't shout.
Yeah, no, you can, that's what I'm saying. You can, but they have to. Because here's the thing. It's not marked on the map. Because it's not actually a fate. Yeah, it's like a mob that spawns on the outside. So from what I understand, it can spawn in multiple different locations. And so you're like, please, 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 please. We can't see it if they don't shout it. Yeah, they don't even get told that it's there. So yeah, there's some form of cooperation. But yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Wow. It's a little rough. But yeah, I mean, I think they can make it 6 Sanguinite. And 100 silver pieces. I'm sorry, 400 silver pieces. And 100 gold. Fuck it. Just give them everything. I don't care. I really want them to do the support. Yeah, the problem is the map. It doesn't show up on the map. We need to communicate with them where it is. And they need to help. They'll be like, why the fuck would I do that? I'm gold farming. Please. I'm begging you. What if everyone else in the instance is gold farming? And they're like, I don't need 2 Sanguinite. Please.
You sure? You sure? Are you working on gear? You will eventually.
It's going to take a really fucking long time. I mean, like, now that I've mathed out that I can do, it only takes me about 3 hours of gold farming per piece solo. I feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. But yeah, I'm enjoying Occult Crescent for the most part so far. I'm glad to have something to grind that's combat focused and not crafting and gathering focused because, you know, I don't craft much. I got all my cosmic relics. I'm good.
Yeah.
But I wanted something combat focused to grind, and I have it. Just to wish my relics weren't 1,500 tomes again. As you can tell, that was the thing I was most passionate about this episode. Passionate. That's, yes. Passionate.
That's the right word. Passionate.
Anyway. Good times.
Good times.
Are you going to do any Fork Tower? Did you ever do BA?
I'm ready for it. I never did it.
Go do it. It's so easy.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I mean, I guess now would be a good time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, now might be technically the worst time to.
I'm not going into Fork Tower anytime soon. I'll need to find a group for it and yada
The
yada.
problem
yada,
is how many other people are going into Fork Tower and how many people are still going into BA. I know there are still BA groups running this weekend, for example, but I'd imagine you might need to wait a few weeks to do BA.
Yeah.
For now, definitely going to just master as many jobs as I can before I go back in. Because, my healer damage is so important. Yeah. Anyway,
are you doing healer berserker where you're not really healing at all?
And when I was doing it, I was healer time mage because I was the dispel.
Yeah, our healer berserker is like, yo, I'm a healer, but don't expect me to fucking heal you. he was running berserker. He's like, yeah, don't expect me to fucking heal you.
Just punch him in the face over and over again. That's great. Yeah, I actually want to try berserker for the solo farm because I just want to see how much it does. Because there's the how much damage you've taken since its activation. Because what I want to do is I want to go warrior berserker, gather like 8 mobs, and then just pop both the berserk and the heal, and in the self heal, and then just beat the shit out of them. I actually think that might be a really good way to do it. And then you come out of that and you just do like primal rend and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only the single target ability for that. Damn, that would have been great.
All right. It's a C kind of thing.
That's a very interesting place to choose to use it too. Yeah. Although I wonder if taking damage from that many mobs would make me just murder the single target dude. Yeah, Riddle of Wind Berserker was another one I was looking at. Monk Berserker to have the 1 second auto attack. Yeah. That was another one. Oh, and the self-heal is over. Damn. Ruining my fun. I need more fun. It's fine. I'll figure out the fun. Yeah. But I want more fun. I like more fun. All right.
Yeah.
Riddle of Wind doesn't work. Then why would people be saying it's strong? If it doesn't work, kill me. In game. Literally, that's how I get stronger as Berserker. Yeah. All right. But anyway, yeah, I think we've covered everything we need to cover for Occult Crescent.
Yeah.
I've yelled about the relics enough, and I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I got some chicken in the fridge I gotta eat up. I went to Costco, bought like 8 pounds of chicken, just cook all that shit up.
Yeah, that's the jam.
Get some
chicken thighs.
I'm eating chicken breasts right now, but sauce them up. Oh. He's like, right. He's white. True.
No, it's not even that. It's just like, I prefer chicken thighs over chicken breasts. So
well, it's because they're better. But like, I'm not doing better. I'm doing healthier.
Thighs are still healthy. I mean, they have a little bit of fat, but it's good for me.
Yeah, I'll keep my saturated fats low. Not after my blood pressure scare. I'm good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be a wrap for this week's episode of State of the Realm. I'll see about getting guests on for a Fork Tower episode next week.
Yep.
Yeah. June is... Wait a minute. No, dude. Next week, if I'm not mistaken, is Summer Game Fest.
Summer Game Fest. Yeah, that's it's Hot Scoops. Hot Scoops. Let me look at the Summer Game Fest.
Please look at the schedule for Summer Games Fest real quick. I'm
pretty sure Friday shit's happening. So,
literally Summer Game Fest starts on the 6th. I just don't know what time.
Yeah. Friday, June 6th, 2 p.m. PT, 5 p.m. ET.
Okay. So here's the play.
So that's the showcase, but there's going to be a pre-show and all that jazz.
So yeah, but pre-show's fucking stupid. I'll just say it. Pre-show's fucking stupid. There's the fucking if you can't listen, if you couldn't give me enough to be in the main show, I'm not watching you in the pre-show. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it sounds like State of the Realm is going to be early by an hour.
Probably.
So we can be done before it starts. So it sounds like an 11 a.m. PT show next week is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds good. So that's the plan next week. We'll do a Fork Tower show at 11. And if that doesn't work, then maybe we'll look at the Saturday schedule for SGF and see what's there and what's, time is available. We'll see. It depends on the guests.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us for a show. And Sly, thanks for being here for the show. And I'm sorry we
Always
didn't
here.
do shows in the previous weeks. Just wasn't.
No, you had shit going on.
I did have shit
Fine.
going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah. I'm going to go not have some shit going on for a few hours. That's what I'm going to go do. Wait to find out if my raid is canceled or not. No raid tonight. Okay. Yeah, I still can't do Fork Tower tonight, but no raid tonight. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I will get the key 3. God. SGF is key 3. Get it? Keely 3.
I know.
Get it? I've never heard that one before. I feel like I should have. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us for this week's episode of State of the Realm. Again, shout out to the sponsors on Patreon for supporting. They don't have to. Everything's free. We don't do anything money gated here. Just our show exists, and that's the end of it. And then also, don't forget to check out the card shop. Keep an eye out for any additional stock that may pop up for Final Fantasy stuff. But also, if you play other card games, you can use the discount code Mrhappy on that shop if you're just looking for new packs, whether they be Pokemon, Digimon, whatever. They even have Neopet cards, which I didn't know were a thing, to be honest. And also to SteelSeries, because they've been awesome and they've been supporting me and they've been asking me to do a bunch of stuff, but then I didn't because of everything that's been going on, and I always feel bad. So if you buy some stuff from them, I'll feel better. And they'll probably feel better too, to be honest. With that, Sly, outro time.
Oh, hi, I'm Sly. It's good to see y'all again. We missed you. You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox, Twitter Sly, aka Gray Fox, Bluesky Sly, aka Gray Fox. God, June's already here. So, again, next week, Summer Game Fest, I guess, covering all the hot scoops and whatnot. Of course, what else is in June? Of course, Rido Remastered. I will be all over fucking Rido Remastered. If you've never seen a action Megaton game, you are in luck. It is so good. I got to preview it, and God, you couldn't tell that game is 20 years old. A little bit, but not too much. It's that good. What else? Death Stranding 2. Kind of looking forward to that as well. And yeah, and then in a month I turn 41. Yay! Woo! So yeah, my birthday's coming up in like about a month. There's that. So just right now doing a bunch of Occult Crescent and whatnot. We'll be streaming after this, so you're more than welcome to come by, hang out, have a few drinks. I always do my bourbon stuff every Friday night. So yeah, good times had by all.
Excellent.
Happy. What about you?
Me, I'm just trying to get into my schedule for everything. I moved 3,000 miles over the past week, which is why we didn't have a show last week. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to get my bearings with the schedule with the busy week. Got some plans for this weekend, so I'm not going to be doing anything late. No Fork Tower this evening or tomorrow. So, Sunday will be the next time I probably do Fork Tower. There is also even a slight chance that I get access to the beta and release of the Chinese app of 14 Mobile. I have found out that apparently it is not that unacceptable to not be from China. It's just harder, technically. I have been given some. Well, I know people who have Chinese accounts. Like they have accounts that let them play mobile games in China. Like, what's the game? Blue Protocol that got saved. Apparently, they've already got, I think, a beta in China that released some time ago for that Star Resonance version. I know someone who they got an account and now they just work with companies out of China, even though they're technically not from China, and talking about the games. So it's like, oh, well then I want to do that. And they're like, oh, okay. So I might be able to get the access that I want.
Okay.
So I might be able to, I might actually end up streaming that. Because the open beta is supposed to be later this month. Right now is a closed beta, like we mentioned. I mentioned on Mog Talk when I was on the other day. That's NDA'd. So even if I got access to that, I couldn't do it. But the open beta is in June. And so that might be something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep an eye out. Which would mean I can make all the guides. I can make all the guides as they come out. I'm ready to do World Prog and 14 Mobile and show off all those die channels. Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be a wrap for the show. We're gonna go into a short post show, and then I'll be wrapping up for the evening. So thanks everyone for joining us. We will see you next week for our Fort Tower show at 11 a.m. PT, an hour earlier because SGF stuff.
Yep.
Now, Sly, also, before I actually change over, if we find out there's shows we need to watch, just showcases we need to watch before that, we're moving the show.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, tentative next week. But the next show will be about Fork Tower all the same. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Till then, bye-bye.
See you soon.